Shabbat morning story time. It's so good to see all of you here today, joining us as we come together on another Shabbat on this beautiful day outside. Might be a little chilly, but it looks gorgeous out. And we're going to celebrate Shabbat together by singing a couple songs, reading some stories. I'm here with Caden, and we're going to get us started by singing some Shabbat songs this morning. Bim, bam, bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam. Chiri, biri, biri, bim. Bam, bim, 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 bam. Bim, 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 bam. Shabbat Shalom, hey Shabbat Shalom, hey Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, hey Shabbat Shalom, hey Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, hey Shabbat Shalom, hey Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Maya Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Maya Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. All right, let's get started with our stories. Because Hanukkah starts this Thursday, I thought we would start with a Hanukkah story, and it's called The Count Hanukkah Countdown. And it's by Tilda Basley and Ellen Fisher, and it's illustrated by Tom Lee. Hello, everybody. This is your furry blue monster friend Grover here. I would like to tell you about an awesome Hanukkah party we had on Sesame Street with our friends from Israel, Abigail and Rosh. Grover checked his list one more time. Let me see. Hi, Grover, said the Count. What's on that paper you were reading? Grover showed him. It's my grocery list. Brosh and Abigail are here from Israel visiting Brosh's Aunt Sarah, Uncle Joe, and the twins, Sam and Sadie. They came to celebrate the 8 nights of Hanukkah. Tonight is the first night, and I am doing the shopping. I bet you did not know that furry blue monsters are excellent shoppers. The Count read, onions, that's 1. Potatoes, that's 2. Apples, 3. You have 8 things to buy. Oh, how I love the number 8. Ha, ha, ha. Would you like to come celebrate with us? Asked Grover. There's always room for one more. Wonderful, said the Count. Aunt Sarah, Uncle Joe, Sam, and Sadie make 4. Brosh and Abigail make 6. And you and I make 8 guests in all. 8 is the perfect Hanukkah number. Grover was a monster in a hurry. I will see you tonight, Count. We light the candles just after sunset. I will be there 8 minutes before, said the Count. Back home, everyone began getting ready. Grover and Brosh were peeling potatoes for latkes. Aunt Sarah was measuring the oil. Abigail was helping Uncle Joe polish the menorah. Sam and Sadie were setting the table. Knock, knock, knock. Who was that at the door? Knock, knock, knock. Sam opened the door. Wait, said the Count. I'm not finished. 2 more knocks make 8. 8 is the perfect Hanukkah number. Hurry, we're about to light the menorah, said Sam, pulling the Count over to the window. Aunt Sarah lit the shamash candle. That's the helper candle, Brosh whispered to Grover. It lights the others. Can Abigail light tonight's candles, Uncle Joe? Asked Abigail. After the blessings, he answered. Everyone joined hands as they sang the special Hebrew words. Now, Uncle Joe told Abigail, I'll help you light the first candle. The Count was confused. Where are the other candles? We need 8. No, said Brosh. Tonight we'll light 1 candle with the shamash. Tomorrow we'll light 2, and we'll add another candle each night. On the last night of Hanukkah, we'll use the shamash to light all 8 candles. 8 candles, 8 nights. I like it, said the Count. 8 is the perfect Hanukkah number. Uncle Joe, will you tell us the Hanukkah story? Asked Brosh. Long, long ago, Uncle Joe began, there was a powerful king named Antiochus. He wouldn't allow the Jewish people to pray in their own way. Many Jews refused to do what Antiochus commanded. Judah Maccabee and his small, brave army fought for a long time. The Maccabees finally won. They were free to practice their own religion again. Hooray! Cheered Abigail. Uncle Joe continued. Now they had to fix the temple, which Antiochus and his soldiers had ruined. There was enough oil to light the temple's lamp one night only. But then a miracle happened. The oil burned for 8 straight days and 8 straight nights. Hanukkah celebrates the victory of Judah's small army and the miracle of the oil. And that is why Hanukkah lasts 8 days? Asked Grover. That's right, said Aunt Sarah, as she set a plate of latkes on the table. And dinner is ready. The Count looked at the plate of latkes. Oh no, there are 9 latkes, said the Count. But do not worry, I can fix this. He popped 1 latke into his mouth. Much better. 8 is the perfect Hanukkah number. That's silly, said Sadie, giggling. But they all followed the Count's example and took exactly 8 bites of everything. Delicious latkes, applesauce, and sufganiyot, which are jelly donuts. After dinner, they even sang 8 verses of a Hanukkah song. The Count set a bag on the table. I brought a small gift for each of you, he counted as he passed them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sadie noticed 1 was left over. Who is that for? Me, said the Count. 7 Hanukkah presents aren't enough. Mine makes 8. 8 is the perfect Hanukkah number. Can I go get the dreidel now? Asked Sam. Aunt Sarah smiled. Yes, we'll all play. The Count frowned. Only 1 dreidel? Sam giggled. Everything in Hanukkah doesn't have to be 8. Brosh dropped a handful of chocolate gelt on the floor and was about to explain the rules. Ah, the Count interrupted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 chocolate coins. 8 is the perfect Hanukkah number. And don't worry, the Count said. I'll be back 7 more nights to light all 8 candles. Oh dear, chuckled Aunt Sarah as he began to play. After a while, Grover looked at the clock. Count, it is 8 o'clock. Is that not the perfect time to end our totally awesome Hanukkah party? Perfect, agreed the Count. And then he added, hip, 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 hip. That's 8 hips. Hooray for Hanukkah. The end. Our next story is by Eric Carle, and it's called The Very Hungry Caterpillar. In the light of the moon, a little egg lay on a leaf. One Sunday morning, the sun came up and pop! Out of the egg came a tiny and very hungry caterpillar. He started to look for some food. On Monday, he ate through 1 apple, but he was still very hungry. On Tuesday, he ate through 2 pears, but he was still hungry. On Wednesday, he ate through 3 plums, but he was still hungry. On Thursday, he ate through 4 strawberries, but he was still hungry. On Friday, he ate through 5 oranges, but he was still hungry. On Saturday, he ate through 1 piece of chocolate cake, 1 ice cream cone, 1 pickle, 1 slice of Swiss cheese, 1 slice of salami, 1 lollipop, 1 piece of cherry pie, 1 sausage, 1 cupcake, and 1 slice of watermelon. That night, he had a stomachache. The next day was Sunday again. The caterpillar ate through 1 nice green leaf, and after that, he felt much better. Now he wasn't hungry anymore, and he wasn't a little caterpillar anymore. He was a big, fat caterpillar. He built a small house called a cocoon around himself. He stayed inside for more than 2 weeks. Then he nibbled a hole in the cocoon, pushed his way out, and he was a beautiful butterfly. And our last book this morning is called Albert and Sarah Jane, and it's by Malachi Doyle and illustrated by Joe Perry. Albert and Sarah Jane were the very best of friends. Their favorite thing to do was curl up in a great big cat-dog cuddle by the fire. But there was one thing Albert liked even better than that, and that was eating his yummy, scrummy crunchies from his big blue bowl. And there was one thing he liked even better than that, and that was eating Sarah Jane's even yummier, scrummier, fishy nibbles. He'd steal 1 or 2 from her Little Red Bull when his friend wasn't looking. They always tasted so much better than his own. But one morning, while Sarah Jane was out and about, Albert got a little carried away with his nibbling. When his friend came back in from the yard, she was all ready for breakfast, but there wasn't a speck of food left in her dish. When Sarah Jane looked to see if there was anything in Albert's big blue bowl, she found there wasn't a speck of food in there either. She went to ask Albert why there wasn't any food to eat, but he was fast asleep in his basket. That's odd, she thought. I'm sure he's fatter than usual, and I'm sure he smells all fishy, too. You've been eating my food, you naughty dog, hissed Sarah Jane, arching her back. But Albert just snored and ignored her. Okay, said Sarah Jane, I've had enough of this. She turned around and marched straight out of the house. Albert opened one eye and saw Sarah Jane leaving through the pet door. She'll be back, he thought. She always comes back. But Sarah Jane didn't come back. She went to live next door instead. By that evening, Albert was lonely. By the next morning, he was howling at the pet door. Come home, Sarah Jane, he cried. I miss you. Albert spotted Sarah Jane through the upstairs window. He smiled at her in a doggy sort of way, but Sarah Jane ignored him. So Albert sneaked out of the house, went next door, sat himself down on the doorstep, and howled. Come home, Sarah Jane, he cried. I miss you. Stop howling, you naughty dog, hissed Sarah Jane, coming down to see what all the fuss was about. But I'm sad and lonely, said Albert. I want a great big cat dog cuddle by the fire. Well, the food's better over here, and nobody steals it, said Sarah Jane. But it's lonely here, too, without a big, smelly lump of a dog to snuggle up to. Me? Asked Albert. Yes, you, said Sarah Jane. Do you miss me too? Asked Albert. I do, said Sarah Jane. Well, I'm sorry, said Albert. What for? Asked Sarah Jane. For gobbling up all your fishy nibbles, said Albert. Will you do it again? Asked Sarah Jane. I won't, said Albert. Will you even nibble them? Asked Sarah Jane. I won't, said Albert. Good, said Sarah Jane. So she marched back home, and Albert marched back home behind her. They had a little nibble from their red and blue bowls, and then they curled up together in a great big cat-dog cuddle by the fire and fell asleep. I want to thank you all for joining us today for Shabbat story time. Just a few reminders for this coming week. This Thursday night is the first night of Hanukkah, and we are all going to gather on Zoom at 6 o'clock with our Hanukkiyot, with our Hanukkah menorahs, with 2 candles each, and we're going to sing some songs and say the blessings and light our candles together and light up our own homes and each other's homes with our community's Hanukkah light on the first night, 6 o'clock on Zoom. Friday night, this coming Shabbat of Hanukkah, we're going to be out on the patio at CDT for services at 5:30. It's also going to be consecration, where we're going to welcome and officially begin, even though they started a few months ago, officially begin the religious school journey for our newest students in CDT's religious school. And then Sunday, we have 2 things going on. In the morning at 9:30 is Play Tamid, our parent and young child class for kids who are not yet in pre-K. And at 7 o'clock is our Hanukkah party, where the Bible players will be joining us, along with Congregation Gesher LaTorah, along with our Dor Tamid community, to welcome or to sing in some Hanukkah songs, to light the candles for the 4th night, and to be entertained by the Bible players, a hysterical, family-friendly Jewish improv group who will help us tell the Hanukkah story. So I hope to see you all this week as we celebrate Hanukkah. Tonight we will say goodbye to Shabbat at 7:30 right back here on Facebook. Have a great day, everyone, and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom, Chaverim. Shalom, Chaverim. Shalom, Shalom. Lehitraut, Lehitraut. Shalom, Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.